Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into some really interesting ideas today about building wealth and handling your money.
hmm
Not just how to earn more, but maybe how to think about it smarter, focusing on the stuff that, truly builds lasting value.
That's right. Yeah, we've been digging into this fascinating piece called Why Patience is the Most Underrated Wealth Strategy. And, well, our goal here is to pull out the absolute best insights.
The real nuggets.
Exactly, the nuggets of knowledge so you can get a quick but pretty thorough understanding of maybe a different way to look at your whole financial path.
Yeah, our mission is basically to give you that shortcut to being well-informed.
Mm,
We're going to unpack this core idea of patience, share some, surprising examples,
including the dog.
including a dog who apparently built a fortune, yeah,
hmm
and figure out why patience might just be this financial superpower you didn't even know you had.
Okay, so let's get right to it then. The central argument really from this article is that patience is, maybe surprisingly, the most underrated strategy for building wealth.
Underrated is the key word there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, everything feels instant these days. So why does the article put such a heavy emphasis on patience, especially with investing?
Well, I think it really boils down to how we react to the market's ups and downs.
hmm
When things get volatile, the natural human reaction is often fear. You see your investments drop, and the impulse is just to do something.
Right, sell, usually.
Usually sell, yeah, which can lock in losses right when you shouldn't.
Ah, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's like the article's analogy, isn't it? Thinking of wealth building like a slow cooker,
Yeah.
definitely not a microwave. And that warning not to panic when the market sneezes.
Exactly. That's the core message, plain and simple. Have a plan, try to stick to it, and resist that urge for instant gratification or, those panic reactions.
Think long term.
Think long-term growth, yeah, not overnight riches, which, let's be honest, rarely happens anyway.
And this links directly then to that idea of staying disciplined and managing the fear factor, which the source touches on by mentioning the book, Unshakable.
Yes, exactly. That book, as the article highlights it, is really focused on building a solid financial footing, even when the economy feels like its end.
Well, I love this analogy from the source.
Which one?
A toddler on a sugar rush.
Huh. That's vivid. And the article makes a really important point there. Trying to make rational financial decisions while you're letting fear and panic drive. It's about as productive as, what was it, trying to control the weather.
Pretty much, yeah. So the clear action step the article suggests here is discipline. Just stick to your predetermined strategy, your investment plan, even when your gut, your emotions are screaming at you to jump ship.
Right. The article's hot take on that book is great too, describing it like having a financial therapist.
In book form.
In book form, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone to kind of talk you down during those market meltdowns. And it shifts your perspective, suggesting you view market dips not as disasters, but as maybe potential buying opportunities. Exactly. Though it wisely adds a little caveat there, this doesn't really apply to those meme stocks purely driven by short-term online hype.
Good point. Need some fundamentals there.
Definitely need some fundamentals. Which actually leads us perfectly into a cautionary tale the author shares about their own experience.
Ah, the story of the impatient options trader.
That's the one.
Right, the personal anecdote involving Ethereum. So the author was eyeing a specific premium for selling some options, something like $2,100 maybe?
Around there, yeah. But they felt that itch, impatience creeping in.
Mm.
So instead of just waiting it out, they canceled their initial order and decided, okay, I'll just sell a put option for a lower premium just to get the trade done, get some cash flow.
And the punchline.
The punchline. Within just a few hours, the price did move, and it hit their original target premium, the $2,100.
Oh, no. So they missed out on that higher potential earning just because they couldn't wait a few hours. So what this story really underscores, and the article points this out clearly, is that patience isn't just for that long-term buy and hold investing. It's also crucial in the timing of specific transactions, like profit harvesting.
Right.
After you've done your homework and set your targets,
hmm
you've kind of got to let the market do its thing sometimes.
Yeah, let it come to you. Rushing definitely spoils the broth, as they say.
So true.
And just to clarify for anyone maybe less familiar, the article does briefly explain some of those terms, like options trading is essentially making a bet on how an asset's price will move.
Okay.
And selling a put means you're selling someone the right to make you buy an asset at a set price that's called the strike price.
Right.
And for giving them that right, they pay you something called a premium upfront.
Got it. The article notes that crypto options have slight differences from stock options, But the core principle illustrated by the story holds.
Yeah, the lesson is the same. And the author also shares a practical tip for managing those emotions that inevitably come with trading. Journaling, just writing it down. It's presented as a way to process those feelings, detach a bit, and stick to your strategy, not your impulses.
That makes sense, like getting it out of your head.
Exactly. They even give a shout out to a place called Crypto Night Academy, saying it helped them gain clarity. They do mention, full disclosure, that it's an affiliate link in the article.
Good to know.
Now, while patience is definitely the main theme, the article also touches on a few other important financial concepts. It calls it the Wealth Potpourri section.
Okay, like what?
Well, things like the importance of understanding your financial numbers beyond just your salary.
Right, not just the top line.
Exactly. The article emphasizes that truly knowing your whole financial landscape, it uses an analogy like knowing how many jelly beans are in the jar is really fundamental to success.
Mm-hmm.
It also discusses using options trading like we just talked about, but specifically as a potential income stream. Turning those premiums into paychecks, kind of. It's presented as a way to maybe generate extra cash without needing a traditional side hustle. Sort of like having your cake and eating it too, potentially.
And speaking of side hustles, the article does bring up avoiding some of the biggest mistakes people make when starting one. The advice seems to be hustle smart, not just hard.
Yeah, that's a common theme nowadays, isn't it?
Hmm.
And here's one that might seem a bit counterintuitive at first glance. The article explains why property investors often love debt.
Right, which sounds scary to a lot of people.
It does, but they don't see it as something to fear and run from necessarily. It's more like a tool, something to leverage.
Okay.
The article uses an analogy of borrowing a friend's car. You use it to get somewhere valuable, and then you return it, maybe even with a full tank of gas.
So you use the tool wisely?
Precisely. The key, as the source stresses, is using it strategically and wisely. It's not about just racking up debt for no reason.
Got it. Okay, now for that surprising fact you mentioned earlier, the article includes a Did You Know section about Gunther IV,
The dog.
the world's richest dog, apparently, who inherited this massive fortune.
Yeah, quite the story. But the truly insightful part, and what the article really highlights, isn't just the inheritance. It's that his wealth didn't just sit there. It was grown significantly through smart, long-term investments made on his behalf.
Which is just a perfect, if slightly absurd illustration of the main point.
It really is.
Whether you start with a huge fortune or just a little bit, those smart financial decisions and that long-term thinking can make it grow exponentially, potentially creating generational wealth.
Apparently, even for a very lucky German Shepherd.
Seems so.
And the author even connects this back personally, mentioning their own dog actually inspired them to start a YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, called Doggy Homeroom, where they're sort of combining their passion for dogs with learning video creation.
That's cool. And they talk about the process.
A little bit, yeah, about using tools like CapCut, putting the pieces together, adding sound effects, that kind of thing. And they mentioned trying out AI tools to maybe speed things up.
Yeah.
But they found that even with AI, they still needed that human touch, to get the video exactly how they envisioned it.
That's a really relatable point, actually. And I think it serves as a great analogy for finance, too, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, you can use all these powerful tools, trading platforms, AI analysis, even just spreadsheets, but applying your informed strategy and having that human oversight, that human touch,
Ah, I see.
that seems essential to truly control the outcome and achieve what you actually want, not just what the tool spits out.
That's a great connection. Makes total sense.
So let's bring this back to you listening right now. After hearing all this, what ideas from this deep dive are kind of sticking with you? Is it that story of the impatient trader?
Or maybe the perspective of viewing market dips as opportunities.
Or perhaps just the slightly bizarre idea of a ridiculously wealthy dog teaching us about compounding?
Huh. And how can these principles, especially that central power of patience and making informed decisions, actually apply to your own financial goals, your own journey?
Are you leaning more towards that slow cooker method now, or are you still tempted by the financial microwave?
It's a good question to ask yourself.
Definitely. Let's loop back then to that core idea, patience as your financial superpower. The article really reinforces this powerfully at the end. It even quotes Friar Lawrence from Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah. What's the quote?
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Classic. And very appropriate here. It uses that comforting image again, patience being like a slow-cooked stew.
Right. Good things, those rich flavors. They come from taking your time, letting the process unfold naturally.
So the simple, powerful takeaway from this source seems crystal clear. Try not to rush your financial decisions. Don't panic when the market gets noisy and volatile.
Let time and your well-thought-out plan do the heavy lifting for you.
Patience truly is presented here as maybe your ultimate financial superpower. And just a quick housekeeping note, the article does mention again that some links provided within it, like that one for Crypto Night Academy, are affiliate links.
Right. Transparency is good. So to wrap up this deep dive, we've really explored how patience and that informed long-term thinking are these maybe counterintuitive, but really powerful forces in building wealth.
Yeah, and we've seen this supported by understanding those core financial concepts from the source, like knowing your key numbers or how to use tools like options or even debt wisely.
Hmm.
And illustrated by those vivid examples from that cautionary tale of rushing a trade to the, well, surprising financial wisdom offered by the story of Gunther the Fourth.
The wealthy dog provides.
Indeed. And based on everything we've covered from the source material, here's maybe a final thought for you to ponder.
Okay.
If embracing patience and that whole slow cooker approach is so effective and rewarding in finance, where else in your life could applying that same principle lead to significant, perhaps even surprising rewards?
That's interesting. Something to think about beyond just money.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the source material.